Welcome back to Cinefellas, guys. I'm Kevin. I am joined here by...
I'm Uncle Henry. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on, guys? And we are going to talk about the seventh chapter in the Scream franchise entitled Scream 7, simple. But before we do, let's check a clip out from the movie.
I'm gonna burn it all down.
Okay, so in this one, Sidney is back as the main character. You know, all the drama behind the scenes of Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega has forced the hand of the studio and brought back Nev Campbell as the lead. And yeah, I'm gonna give this a movie a compliment. I like Nev Campbell, and I think she slipped right back into Sidney very well. And I liked Isabella May, who plays her daughter. I thought those two were very good. There are other things, but overall, yeah, this movie sucks. This movie sucks.
Yeah, a lot of things that don't work about it. For what you just mentioned there, though, Nev Campbell, I will admit that she definitely slides right back into the role. Doesn't skip a beat, plays the role with confidence, playing an older version, obviously, of Sydney now with her own kid. You get to see, her react to, kind of looking and seeing her daughter and remembering how she was at that age, having the boyfriend sneaking in through the window catching them, and, but also, after everything that Sydney's been through, she wants to protect her daughter. She wants to keep her out of harm's way, and she knows that she can't be sneaking in boys. And, look what happened to her all those years ago. So Tatum, you'll notice the name of her daughter is obviously a nod to her friend Tatum, Rose McGowan's character from the original film, when she got caught in the garage door, that death. But yeah, this seventh movie does have a lot to do with, bringing Sydney back and remembering the past. And not only do we see Sydney in this one, we also get the return of Stu Macher, Matthew Lillard. We won't spoil how, but he is involved in this movie. And I thought, that was interesting, enough the way they brought him back and, introducing him back into the story and making it about those original, killings in the Stu Macher, in the house in the original at Stu's house, and having that opening scene. That's always known for the opening scene in these movies to kick things off with the brutal, Ghostface killing. And I liked how they went back to the original house and open it up with the other girl from the Yellowstone franchise and Landman coming along to play the girl in that, and her boyfriend going to the Mocker house, and it being set up kind of like this museum of the killings that took place all those years ago in Woodsboro.
Yeah, I had, the first probably hour, this movie's like an hour and 45 minutes. I'd say like the first hour kind of had me. I liked what they were doing, and obviously Wes Craven has passed away. Rest in peace, great director. But you can feel the lack of his style in this movie. Because we have Kevin Williamson, who wrote the screenplay for this one and also the originals, I think three of the original two, actually original two. He's in the director's chair, and there are some cool shots. I'm not going to totally discredit him. I liked one of the characters gets murdered and kind of is hanging. That's all I'll basically say, and that was really cool. And there's another kill or almost kill of someone in a garage using plastic covering. I think it's paint covering. Yeah, and there's really some cool cinematography in this movie, and I liked some of the stuff. And
Mhm.
we mentioned Nev Campbell, but yeah, that's pretty much it on my notes about the positive side of this thing. I thought the new characters outside of the girl Isabel May who played Tatum, I thought they were all forgettable, completely forgettable. Courtney Cox phones it in. Did you notice Ghostface is really becoming supernatural and overpowered, especially when you find out
Yes.
who is behind that mask? Like this guy
Yeah.
takes
Yeah, I did
shots.
notice that.
He's like The Rock in WWE would like,
That's exactly.
yeah, like there's only so
Yeah.
much, disbelief I could suspend. And
Right.
this is a movie that as it proceeds, especially when the stew stuff basically starts unraveling, it just gets really stupid. It gets really dumb. It gets really eye rolling. And then there's the
Yeah.
reveal of the killer. We won't spoil it here, but I can't believe they sat in the room, like in the writer's room, like, okay, yep, this is great. We're gonna do this because It is the worst reveal in the
Yeah.
franchise, in my opinion.
Yes, incredibly convoluted script and plot, the way that the killers are revealed and their intentions and motives. And you notice I said there, so it's kind of a spoiler right there. As in these past couple movies, there's, multiple people involved here, but it just wasn't any thought put to the story here. It was very lazily written here. Like you mentioned, had some good things going for it. The cinematography, like you mentioned, I like the opening titles, how they harken back to the original. It looked like the original like font and everything.
Yeah.
Like the opening drew me in a little bit, and when we get introduced to Sydney, but then things start to unravel. Like after we meet the friends of Tatum's character, like you mentioned, there's just nobody interesting there for you to follow, like there was in the original film with Sydney. Nobody to draw you in, you know. Um, yeah, Courtney Cox comes back. Why? Her character did nothing. They had the interview scene in there. Cool to have some legacy characters come back, but what's the point if they don't really do anything? And unfortunately, and nobody really does anything in this film. That's what I was, disappointed in. Having Kevin Williamson come back, having written those scripts for the first few movies, I had some hope for this. He worked with Wes Craven, so I had some hope for this. But unfortunately, by the halfway point into the three quarters of the way film, it just unravels. The story unravels. Things just get so preposterous. You have, Ghostface for some reason acting like he's Michael Myers, like you mentioned, coming out of the shadows, taking on this supernatural role.
Yeah.
And, seeing some of the scenes where he just has this incredible strength and then seeing who it winds up being at the end. It's just completely unbelievable and just an utter disappointment for this one. Not my least favorite out of these, but it's definitely among the worst of the Scream franchise, which sucks to say. Um, but we're gonna get more of these regardless.
Yes.
This made a lot of money,
Go on the way.
so there's gonna be more on the way. Let's hope that they can get the shit back on track here because I actually liked six before this, but
Yeah, it's a
unfortunately,
shame.
we
It's
know
a
what happened
shame
there.
because everything that happened, as I said, with the behind the scenes drama. Because I liked the direction that they were basically taking the franchise because it was something new. This one just kind of falls back on everything that's predictable and everything that's been done outside of 5 and 6. And let me tell you something. I don't know. I felt Joe McHale. I love Joe McHale. I love Community. I love the suit, but it just felt like I don't know. It felt like Abed was gonna pop out and say, "You're not playing a cop, are you?"
Yeah,
Like he was
absolutely. Yeah, my
really
brother-in-law said the same
bad.
thing. He said, Joe McHale is a cop. There's no way. I'm not believing this already.
Doesn't he play a
Yeah.
cop or something on that show on Vox? Is he? I think he's on.
Yeah, yeah, some sort of cop or like
Oh,
animal,
Animal Defender, yeah,
yeah, animal patrol. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
But I don't know. I was just expecting him always to crack a
yeah,
joke.
yeah, exactly. He's usually the comedic relief. Yeah, we're not taking him seriously.
And it's just the thing that not every screenwriter can direct a film. Like that's just
Yeah,
something how I feel about Aaron Sorkin. So Aaron Sorkin's a good writer, but he needs someone to direct his stuff.
yeah,
And
you're right.
personally, like I think Scream, like even though I just said I liked 5 and 6, I kind of think that they should have capped it at 3 because I think the core story was the strongest part. Overall, man, I would probably give this. Actually, you're gonna rate this higher than I am. I want to hear what you give it first.
I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna give it a 2.5 out of 5. Scream 7 hair pieces.
Yeah, it's not gonna be this nice on this side of the screen. I'm
No.
gonna give this one 1.5 out of
Ooh.
5. Dude, I told you, like,
Yeah.
because I heard about this movie how bad it was from multiple people before I saw it. Some of my students saw it, some of my friends saw it. I did have outliers that said, "Oh, it's fun," but I didn't trust
Mhm.
those outliers, so I kind of
Yeah.
went in like, okay, maybe it's gonna be different, but no, like outside the 45 minutes where it had me, it just,
Yeah.
as we keep saying, it just unravels to stupidity, especially when they take off those goddamn masks. And I couldn't believe that the killers who they were. It's just,
Right.
yeah, it goes back to what you're
And
saying. It's a supernatural powers, and like, there's no way this person could have done half of what Ghostface does in this movie.
yeah, and somehow they grew like 5 inches too, like when the
Yeah,
camera pan.
and also basically not even grew 5 inches this way. They got
Yeah.
bulkier.
Yeah.
Like I know the
Yeah.
Ghostface suit is a little bulky, but come on, like
Yeah.
especially one of them. But even the killer reveal didn't make sense. Their motives didn't make sense. They were stupid, and their selecting of their victims was even more confusing and bewildering. But yeah, I didn't like this movie at all. It's probably gonna end up on the list at the end of this year for one of the worst I've seen. It's pretty shitty. Hopefully, this guy back right behind me will kill this movie and make a better one for the next one.
Yeah, please do us a favor, Ghostface. We need a fresh start here. Maybe get Melissa Barrera back and bring Jenna back. I'd almost
Yeah.
like to see a continuation of that story.
Oh yeah, I like how they basically just mentioned New York a few times and then they kind of swept it underneath the rug.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nicely swept under.
But what do you guys think? Or do you agree with me? Do you agree with Henry? Are do you hate it more than I do? Or maybe you loved it. Let us know. Cinefellas.com. We're also on X, Instagram, Facebook. That
All
new
the socials. Yeah,
all the
that's
socials.
pretty
We're
much.
on all the socials. But yeah, drop us a hint, drop us a line, disagree with us, agree with us. And until next time, I am Kevin.
I'm Uncle Henry. And
And
until the
as we
next time
say,
in Woodsboro,
see you.
cheers.